Hello and welcome to my channel FaxaKnits. My name is Sarah and I'm a knitter based in Germany. This is episode 3 of my series What Happened Before. So in this episode I want to show you some of my favorite Colorwork sweaters. So it will be, I think, 6 sweaters in total, and I hope you will enjoy this episode. The first sweater that I want to show to you today is the Avena sweater by Jennifer Staingas. This is the sweater that I am wearing now, and I knitted this in the size C, which is the third size, and I used a needle size 3.75 millimeter, and for the cuffs and the hem and the neckline I used the 3.25 millimeter needles. The yarn I used for this is a DK Merino yarn that I ordered from Schmusewolle, and I hand dyed the base myself. I had a specific idea in mind from how I wanted the yoke to be and how I wanted the base color to be. And I am a bit, I don't know. For the yoke, it is exactly how I imagined it, and I'm really loving it, but the base color is a lot darker than I wanted it. I imagined a little bit muted creamy color with a little touch of green in it, but it came out quite dark for my liking and also really stripy. But in the end, I just like the pullover as it is. I think for the body, where you can see a bit of pooling, at first I thought, no, not pooling. But when looking at it in total, it's kind of a happy little accident. I think it looks like a wall that is a little discarded old wall and some vines growing over the wall. So this is a very nice picture in my head, and so I really love the outcome of this sweater. Next off we have the Pink Moon sweater by This Bird Knits. My example looks like this. I knitted this size 2 and I used the needle size 5 millimeter for the body, and for the ribbing I used the needle size 4 millimeter. The yarn I used is the yarn that is recommended in the pattern. It was Ritual Dyes Elder for the whole body, which is this moss green color. And for the color work, I used a fingering yarn and a mohair yarn held together, which were Faye and Maven from Ritual Dyes. I will show you this wonderful color work up close, because you will see it is not only color work, it has also some lace elements, which are in this red part here. And I really, really love this design, which incorporates like everything that I really adore, color work and lace and a lot of stockinette. So I think it is the perfect design for my liking. And the only downside of this sweater is that I did underestimate how much it will grow by blocking. So I chose the size 2, but it still came out very big, especially here in the shoulders. And so the footage that I will show you later, where the sweater is on the body, you will see that it's not on my body, but it's on the body of a dear friend who has broad shoulders, and the sweater fits him very well. So he can show it to you a lot better than I can. But I still treasure this sweater very, very much, and I still wear it in the winter, especially when going to the stable and riding my horse. It is quite a good point, and the sweater is so huge. And I have to say, this Elder from Ritual Dyes is very heavy, very warm, but still soft. It's not at all scratchy, it's not at all rustic, but it still has this grip to it. So yeah, here's the back side. and again the front. My Pink Moon by This Bird Knits. The next object that I want to show to you is my fish sweater. This sweater is not a pattern that you can buy, it is my own design. It looks like this. Also show you the back. Yoke goes around. And the colors are also at the bottom of the body and on the curves of the sleeves. This project was kind of a let's use up some leftover yarns project, but I had a specific idea in mind of some goldfish that I wanted to incorporate in this color work, but they are not golden, they are more like fox red, but I still really like the color scheme of this sweater, especially all the colors that I use in the yoke are also incorporated in the speckles of the main color, in this light cream color with speckles. And I am quite proud of this sweater, not of the yarn tails that are peeking out, but we don't mind those. Yeah, this sweater came out a little bit big for me, but I still wear it quite a lot, especially to the stable and to my horse. But it keeps me, because it keeps me very warm. This is between DK and worsted, I would say. It's more on the heavier side of DK. And I knitted this on a needle size 4, which is kind of on the edge of too small for this yarn, but I wanted the fabric to be quite dense. So this is an absolute product knit. I wanted to have the sweater for this specific reason. I wanted to wear it outside, and I wanted a dense fabric that keeps away light rain and wind and all the cold. And I achieved this. So I'm really happy with this sweater. And I had it with me on several rides through the forest, on several rides with my bike, my horse, and yeah, it held up very good, surprisingly good to say. Oh, look, the elbows are the most critical part, and I will show to you up close. So maybe you can see the slightest bit of pilling. And this is the whole truth. I do not depill my sweaters before filming. So yeah, this is the whole truth. Even here at the bottom where my jacket rubs, no, not too much of pilling. So yeah, really proud of this one, my fish sweater. Next off we have the sweater number 4, which is my Alaska sweater by Camille Descoteaux. I think the French pronunciation is a bit of funny for me, but I will write it down for you so you can read the name. And yeah, this is my example. This is a very modified version of the pattern. I mostly only used the color charts for the trees below, and the body itself I made myself. I have took some inspiration from the April cardigan to do this saddle shoulder construction. I hope you can see the saddle shoulder. And I just did a bit of math to come to the right stitch count to incorporate the chart on the body. And the same I did for the curves of the sleeves. I also decreased to the point where I had the right stitch amount to do the little trees on the cuffs. The yarn I used for this was leftover yarn. The yarn was called Heidi, and I ordered it from Boutinette, but unfortunately I think it is discontinued now. I only had leftovers in cream white and in dark brown, but I had a specific idea in mind to work the sweater in a color scheme like stormy weather, a sky with stormy weather. I don't know if I can describe it properly, but this gloomy, like purpley sky just before a thunderstorm, and then very, very dark green trees below the sky. So I went to my kitchen and I grabbed my dye pot and I tried to achieve this. And for the sky, I'm really happy with the color. For the trees, it is a bit too light for my liking. I would have preferred it to be a bit darker, but from afar, I think it's quite okay. Maybe I could have used just black, but I wanted it to be a bit more natural. And for a natural color scheme, I think black is too harsh. So yeah, this is my Alaska sweater, a very, very heavily modified version of the Alaska sweater, but still very much liked and worn. And yeah, to the yarn, it is very much more to the rustic side. It is even a bit scratchy, which was not from the beginning, but I have worn and washed this so often that now it is just the slightest bit felted, and yeah, it scratches. it really scratches. I typically wear a dark green turtleneck underneath. I have a turtleneck that has quite the same color than the bottom ribbing and the trees, and that fits the sweater very good. And with this turtleneck underneath, I have no issues. But without, it's, yeah. At least when I am getting a little sweaty, it is very itchy. My Alaska sweater. The next object I want to show to you is the New Leaf sweater by Jennifer Staingas. My example looks like this. This is the size 2, and it is knit up in needle size 4 for the main part and needle size 3 mm for the ribbing. The yarn is called Landlust, and it's a very, very soft yarn between sport weight and DK. It's quite squishy and quite elastic, and I think it suits this sweater very good. The sweater is on the snugger side on my body, but due to its elasticity, I can wear it very good. And I have to say something about the sweater, because I did not knit it myself. This sweater was gifted to me by my dear friend Anna. I gave the yarn to her, and she decided to knit the sweater for me from this yarn, which I think is such a nice thing. And I really treasure this sweater because she knitted it for me, and I think it turned out so, so pretty. I will bring it up close to you so you can see what color work she did. And also on the sleeves. Yeah, absolutely precious. The New Leaf sweater by Jennifer Staingas. The last sweater that I want to show to you today is the Witchling sweater by Dragon Horde Designs. My example looks like this. The eye catcher on this sweater is absolutely the bottom of the body with this wonderful moon face colorwork design on it. And I knitted this one on needle size 5, and the ribbing was knit on needle size 4mm. I used the Shulana mohair tweed yarn, which is around a DK. And with this, I achieved a kind of loose gauge, but still not too loose to work color work in this. I used some leftover yarn for the moons, which was held together, a sport weight yarn and a mohair yarn. So I achieved the right needle size and everything came out quite nicely. This sweater came out a bit too big for myself. So you will see the model in the picture that I will show you in a few seconds is a dear friend, and the sweater fits him exactly, which is so nice. And he wears this one, and he also likes to wear the pink moon sweater that I showed you earlier. I think he also modeled for the photo with the pink moon. So I will insert these photos for you. The original pattern from Dragon Horde Designs incorporates a classic raglan, I think, but I really modified this one. I can't even tell you what size I made because I totally did this sweater myself, except for the color work. So I have knitted this one top down, and I started a bit like the Felix sweater from Amy Christophers. This sweater I showed to you in the first episode of this What Happened Before series, and I knitted it 2 times. And the special on this sweater was these lace elements on the raglan. And so I used these, and I did a bit of math to decide how many stitches I have to cast on and how many stitches I will increase during this Felix raglans to achieve the right number to do the color work below. I also anticipated that the color work on the body might probably cinch in the body a little bit. So I made some increases here just before the color work started. So I have a little bit more stitches and kind of room for the color work, so it does not cinch in, especially not around my hips. For the rest of the body, it is work quite simple, just plain stockinette, no increases or decreases. Also, the sleeves are just stockinette tubes. I think I made some decreases just before the cuffs, as you can see here, to bring them in a little bit around my wrist. And other than that, the sweater is worked quite simple. For the color work below, I used a technique. I think I will show you up close. I used the leatherback jacquard to prevent that the dark yarn floats when twisting will be visible on my full moons. I wanted them to be plain and light, and so I used this leatherback jacquard technique. And even though it was the first time for me using this technique, it worked out quite well. And I would really suggest to you using this technique when catching longer floats, because it's a fantastic technique. I never heard of it before. I just did a little bit of research about how to catch longer floats without them showing to the front side. And yeah, I'm very excited about this technique. It's cool. It's really cool. It looks intricate, but it is not that intricate. It's doable. even for me, for the first time, it was absolutely doable. So, my Witchling sweater by Dragon Horde Design. So this is it for today's video. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I hope you enjoyed this episode just as much as I did. Please let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions or feedback or questions to me. And also, what are you working on? Do you have any favorite Colorwork sweaters that you want to share with me? I wish you all a very peaceful time, and I hope to see you all again in my next video. Bye!